The Secrets of HighBridge Park with your host, Crazy New York Driver. Hey guys, Joe from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is December 2nd, 2012. Today, I want to take you to HighBridge Park, to a place that nobody else can get to see because it's very difficult and obscure. I will show you exactly how to get there in case you want to. As you can see, what I did was I parked my car on the side of the Harlem River Drive where there was an open space, and I turned on one of my flashes. I then began to walk southbound towards the camera now, and I came upon this. I didn't realize that the stairs had been closed because the park is under major renovation. It says danger, keep out, and they've erected a fence. Of course, there's no fence that's going to stop Crazy New York Driver. So if you look where the red arrows are, I went on the outside of the fence, held on to the top of it with my hands, and kind of duck walked to the top where I got a nice foothold and jumped over the fence, and I began to walk up it. I do not recommend anybody else do this. The reason for the construction, as I said, if you look up here, that's the Alexander Hamilton Bridge, which is really the Cross Bronx Expressway, Interstate 95, and they're redoing that, so at the same time, they're refurbishing the park, which is a shame. Look at that old original light fixture right there in front of you. They are dismantling all the original fixtures and they are upgrading it with new stuff. Now, I'm all for safety, don't get me wrong, but I'm telling you, just look at the history here. Look at that. Do you know anything about HighBridge Park? Probably not, unless you live in New York City. So for those of you who don't know, HighBridge Park was named after the original High Bridge, which was erected in 1848, and its specific purpose was to carry water from the Croton Reservoir. The park itself was built piecemeal, starting from the year 1867 all the way up to 1960, although most of the park was made in 1895 to 1901. Most of the park is still original today. However, as you know, New York City had a fiscal crisis, and one of the first things that they stopped doing maintenance on was parks. In the 1970s, this park really started going to hell, and the 80s as well. This here is a beautiful shot. I really love this. It has just been refaced, but basically it's original. This is really neat, and look how narrow that tunnel is, walking up to the next level. I went up there when I was a little kid, and these tunnels were littered with garbage. Garbage like you would not believe. See this blocked up tunnel here? This was similar to the one you just saw. Only as my memory serves, it went up and it curved to the right and was really narrow, and I'm telling you, I was scared going in there as a kid in the 70s. Now, as I was saying, the park was at its worst in the 70s and the 80s. In 1986, the Parks Department finally got some cash, and they decided to do an all-out cleanup of HighBridge Park. They removed 250 tons of garbage and 25 derelict automobiles. The problem was that squatters had set up illegal camps in the park in the 70s and 80s, and people were living there. I vividly remember this. You know, when you're a little kid, you do things sometimes without thinking. I can remember walking through this park with my school books, wearing a suit and tie, having drug addicts look at me funny. You know? I mean, some of the chances I took when I was young, I walked through these tunnels alone, wearing a suit and tie and carrying school books. I was even crazy back then. But back then I was crazy New York school kid. Geez, I wish they would have had a YouTube back then. But one of the things I had to worry about today were security guards, because this is an off-limits area. And as I got to the very top of here, I don't know if it's in the next picture or not, there was a security guard asleep behind the wheel of his car. So I very quietly turned around and went back. But keep in mind, this is only one small section of the park. This is the section that abuts the Harlem River that you can see on your left there. I chose this section because it's under renovation and I wanted to get up there before it's done so I could get as much local shots as I could. I wanted original light fixtures. I got a friend of mine that goes ballistic over original light fixtures. A lot of the granite work has been refaced, but okay, I can deal with that. It's still good. I'm very happy I was able to get up there today because let me tell you something. They say this is going to open for public use in 2013, and by then everything will have been refurbished. I'm all for refurbishing parks, but look at that light fixture in front of you. See it? The top is missing. I guarantee you that thing is as good as gone. That thing dates back probably to the 20s or 30s. Same thing with that bench right there on the ground and the light fixture just beyond it. I think it's a crime that we're losing all of old New York. That's why my friends and I are so big on preserving this and getting the word out and taking as many pictures as we can for our websites. If you live in New York City, perhaps someday you'll want to join us on